All right, getting ready to go live. Just going to tweak this out here real quick. We'll go live in a second. All right, we got anybody yet? Not yet. That's all right. We'll wait a minute. Wait till a minute. See how many more people come in. We got somebody. All right. So let's go ahead and go live. All right. Welcome back to WMMA Now with Coach Stevenson. Welcome to the weekend recap and Invicta FC3 Retro Fight Companion. Got a lot of fights to go over this weekend. All of them were pretty good. I mean, I wasn't too disappointed by any of them. I mean, there were some that I didn't particularly care for, even before and after. But I mean, there weren't terrible fights. I mean, if you watch my recap from last night, like my immediate reaction, you'll probably get like a worse image of how the fights went than how they actually went down. But for the most part, I mean, they were okay. And then we're gonna go all the way back to 2012 to recap Invicta FC3, a landmark event for Invicta. They crowned their first ever champion in the atomweight division. So the first Invicta FC title belt was handed out. The winner of Jessica Penny and Naho Sugiyama. And man, I'm telling you what, you look down the list of fighters that were on this card. I mean, we're talking current UFC fighters, UFC veterans, fighters that are still fighting today. We have some fighters that went there and retired. We have some fighters that fought in Bellator. At least one that is still fighting in Bellator. I mean, this event, this was like how stacked. I mean, for some of these fighters, we didn't even really know them that well back then. But this was like, excuse me, this event was like peak Invicta at its start. And this is only their third event. And they even started getting better after this. Got my tea for my throat. But this is going to be, this is a fun, I haven't watched this event really since it went down. I mean, I've watched a couple of the fights on replay, but I haven't watched the event as a whole since it happened, but we're going to get into that. It is on UFC Fight Pass. You do have to have Fight Pass. I don't think it's available on YouTube. I haven't even bothered trying to look. Actually, let me look real quick here. Because if it's on YouTube, we'll watch it on YouTube. That way everybody can watch it. So I'm looking. They don't have the full event up that I can find. I mean, they have individual fights, but not the full event. So we'll have to watch it on Fight Pass. Judy V is in the house. How you doing, Judy V? So, like I said, this is a fun event. It's huge, but also, like I said in the chat, 14 fights. So get strapped in. Get your caffeine ready. Get whatever you need. Your caffeine, your alcohol, whatever you need, get it ready because it's going to be a long night if you're staying for the full ride. Anyway, let's get into the weekend recap. So Friday, we had Angels FC17, War of Monsters. We had one bout in the atomweight division. Che In-young on the left defeated Che Jie via unanimous decision. This is kind of hard to watch because you see a fighter in Che Jie who is doing things right. It's just that she's too slow and her reaction time is just so slow. She's taken on a much younger fighter who is just a lot faster than her, and her reaction time, it just isn't there. I mean, unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes when you get into a sport and you're already in your 30s. So as the fight wore on, it got a little bit hard to watch, just because this was someone in JJ that I've watched her entire career, and I was cheering for her because she's only like a year or two younger than I am, and I was hoping she'd pick the win up here. I actually picked her to win, but she was just a little too slow, just too slow. The reaction time is not there, and that happens when you age and when you start a sport slow. So Chae Young on the left-hand side there picks up the unanimous decision win. Then we had the UFC on Saturday night. At strawweight, Ariana Conolosi defeated Estella Nunes via submission due to rear naked choke in the third round. Conolosi is going to be a problem in these lower ranks. I mean, we know what her ceiling is, but it's just that in these lower ranks, she's a tank, and she's going to, stay a problem as long as she's in these lower ranks. But I mean, you look at her record, and she's not beating any like established UFC veterans or anything. It's just that she has exactly what she needs to beat up on lesser experienced or, fighters that don't have, their skill set rounded out. Like they're not rounded out yet. They're still developing. Whereas she has the strength. She has a good enough chin. She has the endurance, this surprisingly good gas tank for someone as muscled as she is. And she's just going to keep moving forward and beating up on these fighters and then taking them down if she can. To me, Estella Nunes is the technically better fighter. It's just she didn't hit hard enough to gain Conolosi's respect, and she didn't have the takedown defense, which after three and a half years out, she should have worked on her takedown defense a lot more. Then in the flyweight division, Luanna Carolina defeated Lupita Godinez via decision. Lupi going up in weight on a week notice. I mean, less than a week to the day after her last fight. She moved up from strawweight, competed at flyweight. Just could not get her game plan going. The size difference played a huge factor here. I mean, Lupita, like I said last night in the post-fight reaction, she depends on getting a flow going. Her striking flows into getting the clinch, flows into her takedowns, flows into the ground game, flows into her ground and pound, flows into her submissions. She has to get everything depends on getting that rhythm and getting that flow going. I mean, everything works within that flow, that pattern for Godinez. Carolina, her size played a big factor, but also Carolina's style is designed to take fighters out of their flow, to take fighters off of their rhythm. I mean, she has like a really weird, like jerky style of striking. And when she was against the cage, when Godinez had her against the cage, Carolina was able to get the overhooks and kind of like lift on her to take the pressure off of her hips and legs, prevented Godinez from getting the takedowns that she needed properly. So really nice job there by Luanna Carolina in beating a really tough prospect in Lupita Godinez. And hey, props to Godinez for, moving up in weight on a week after just fighting and winning and giving her best. I mean, she did not stop trying for 1 second of the fight. So it was a loss for Godinez, but I got to give her props on this one. And honestly, no one is really going to look at this loss and go, oh, she took a loss to Luanna Carolina. No, no one's going to look at that. Like everyone was giving her props, for moving up in weight, going short notice, and putting up a tough effort against a much bigger fighter. I'm still conflicted about this one because Manon Fiora did exactly what she was supposed to do, did exactly what she was needed to do. But I still have a hard time giving her credit on this bout because she fought someone who did absolutely nothing. And I mean absolutely nothing but survive. Maria Bueno Silva, I don't know what her game plan was. If she had a game plan, she wasn't acting on it. All she did was walk forward, get struck, and then shake her head and try to no-sell it. You're not going to win a fight doing that. You got to do something. And she put forth basically no effort for the entire fight. I mean, I think she came alive a little bit at the end of the second round, but it was like too little too late to get the round, and then went back to doing more of the same in the third round. Now, Manon, she won the fight, but she basically spammed the same combination over and over again because it worked. So it worked, so that's what she kept doing. But again, it's like, how much credit can I give someone for beating an opponent who didn't really put up a fight? This reminds me of way back when, in Invicta, Joanne Calderwood fought a late notice replacement by the name of Livia von Plettenberg. Von Plettenberg, all she did was basically be a mobile punching bag for Calderwood, who just teed off on her. And Calderwood like blew up in popularity after that fight. Like, her popularity was already starting to build, but after that fight, her popularity blew up because all she did was just tee off on this girl. And people made GIFs of it, or GIFs, whatever you call them, little video clips, made a highlight reel out of it. And it made Calderwood look really good, and her popularity soared because of that. And this was basically the same thing. This was like Calderwood versus von Plettenberg 2.0, where Bueno Silva came in and just served as a mobile punching bag. So, I mean, Manon, she did what she was supposed to do. She won. It's just I have a hard time giving her much credit for this one. Now, of course, you already got Manon fanboys out there saying, well, this is a great fight. This was a great fight. No, it was not. It was not a great fight. I'm sorry. A fight where where one fighter does is move forward, eat punches, and shake her head. That is not a fight. That is not a great fight. That is not even a good fight. That's barely a fight. That is just sparring, basically. Barely even sparring, because even in sparring, you expect one opponent to fight back. This is like one-sided sparring. I'm more disappointed by Maida Bueno Silva than I want to give credit to Manon Fiorot. And I picked Fiorot to win. No bones about it. I picked Fiorot to win on Thursday night. But this tells us nothing about Fiorot's growth as a fighter. It barely shows us more than what it did in her last two fights before that, where she was fighting debutantes, UFC debutantes. No Filter MMA in the house. Says, I am too. Maya could have done so much more and absolutely nothing. Right? That's BJ at No Filter MMA. If you're not familiar with him, go give him a follow. You're going to be sticking around for a while, BJ? Anyway, let's move on. Main event. This fight was a little better than the last one, but Norma Dumont defeated Aspen Ladd via unanimous decision. Two judges saw it 4-1 for Dumont. One judge saw it 3-2. I knew there was going to be at least one judge that saw it 3-2. I'm not surprised, but Ladd just could not get going in this fight. I mean, whereas Bueno Silva seemed unwilling to do anything, Ladd just seemed unable to get anything going for the first three rounds. Finally started to come alive in the fourth round, and then really came alive in the fifth. Dumont, I'll tell you what, this real story of this fight for at least the first three rounds was the jab of Dumont. Dumont using the jab exactly the way you're supposed to. Your opponent starts coming forward, boop, flick out that jab, and stop them. So really nice job there by Norma Dumont. Yeah, Ladd just couldn't get going. I'm not sure what was going on with her. Very unusual for Aspen Ladd. Maybe it was the ring rust. Maybe it was maybe she's worried about her knees. Maybe it was lingering effects from the bad weight cut 2 weeks ago. Still having a hard time figuring it out. Yeah, just real weird effort from Aspen Ladd. Dumont, nice effort from her. Basically cruised to a decision. So BJ says fight win is expected. Aspen getting her ass beat. I think I picked Aspen to win, so I got that one wrong. Jab was beautiful. And then said, to be honest, Aspen, she does, but I don't think she'll make it at 145. Because here's the thing. I said this last night on my initial reaction. Ladd does best when she can impose her physicality on her opponents. And I just don't think she'll be able to do it at 145 the way she did at 135. I mean, that's why she gets so big between fights. She's bulking up and then trying to cut a lot of water weight so that she can be as big as possible on fight night and just impose her physicality on her opponents. And when she can't do that, she struggles. I mean, she struggled against Yana Kunitskaya because Yana is a very physically imposing fighter who, uses her size and her weight there. So I wasn't able to do that as good with Kunitskaya. And BJ says, yeah, she got lucky in there with Kunitskaya. Yeah, she came out, her coach gave her the pep talk of all pep talks in that Kunitskaya fight. And she came out there and blasted Kunitskaya. Coach tried doing the same thing in this fight, and he's getting tore up for it. But to me, I don't think he should be getting torn up for it. I think he did what he needed to do. Like some fighters, they need to be told, like, hey, what are you doing? You're doing nothing. I mean, he was giving her sound advice during the rounds themselves. Like he was telling her what to do and to try to do this, try to do that. And then went back to the corner, and BJ's thought her corner work was horrid. Miesha Tate tore into her corner pretty good. I'm like, that surprised me coming from someone from a wrestling background like Miesha, because I know when I wrestled, if I was doing crap during a fight, during a match back in my day, my coach would tear into me like the whole time. He's like, you got to do something. Like, it was the same thing. Like, you got to do something because I knew what I needed to do. It's just sometimes you couldn't find the will to do it. And wrestling, I don't think there's any coaches harder on their athletes than wrestling coaches. So I didn't have a problem with his coaching myself, but some people do. Different strokes. Then over in Bellator 268 at flyweight, Sumiko Inaba defeated Randy Field via arm triangle choke submission in the second round. I'll tell you what, I like what I see from Sumiko Inaba so far. She is showing the marks of a legit prospect. I wish she were younger. She's already 30, which 30 is not old, but it's not, early to start in the sport either. But she is doing everything right. She is showing growth from fight to fight. She knows what she needs to do to win. She puts in some hard work. I like what I see from Sumiko Inaba. It's a little bit of a shame that she's stuck there in Bellator because they're going to give her cherry pick after cherry pick after cherry pick, probably. But I imagine they're paying her better than she would get on the regional scene. They seem to like what they see from her too. So she's there for the time being. But I like what I see from her. I wish I found a better angle of the submission here because this is not the best angle. But yeah, I like Inaba. I'm hoping they put her up against Valerie Loretta next. I think that'd be a good one. And I would pick Inaba to beat Loretta. Then we move on to Deep Tokyo Impact. They had two shows by the same name on the same day in the same place. So they had like a first round and a second round event. So in the Impact first round, Moeri Suda on the right-hand side defeated Ottawa Nagao via decision. I haven't caught this fight yet. I did purchase the pay-per-view for the event, but I don't know what's going on with Ottawa Nagao here on the left-hand side, but she has not been doing well lately. Whereas Suda, after going 0-2, has now won her past 3 fights. So she's picking it up. And she's young, too. I think she's only like, let me see. I think she's only like 17. Yeah, she's 17 years old. She's doing well at 3-2. Lost her first 2 fights, but has picked up 3 straight. Whereas Nagao, she's the same. She's 18 years old and just dropped to 4-5 as a pro. She's got to do something to turn it around. Then later on in the day, the Impact second round, Deep Tokyo Impact second round had 3 ladies bouts. First up, Ira Koga on the right-hand side there defeated Eru Takebayashi via decision. I haven't caught these ones yet, but from what I understand, Koga was really just able to take Takebayashi down and hold her there. And then Aya Murakami. This fight was at microweight, 97 pounds. Aya Murakami defeated Yasuka Tamada via rear naked choke in the first round. Murakami just lightning fast, jumped on Tamada, got around to the back, sunk in the choke. I mean, I'm talking fast. I'm not sure what the official time is, but I might be able to find it real quick. Let me see. Okay, no, MMA Rising doesn't have it up yet. But yeah, Murakami, she's tough. And if she stays at microweight, she could rule that division. Whereas Tamada, she's going 0-2 in her last 2, but I mean she's in her 50s, like literally in her 50s. So I don't blame her for slowing down. Then I believe this is the final ladies bout on the card. What is this girl's name? Urina Horaguchi on the right defeated Marina Kumagai, I believe by decision. Neither of these fighters have shown too much promise, but this was at bantamweight, which you don't see too many bantamweight bouts in Japan. So, is there anything after that? Oh, that's right, Pancrase. Pancrase 324 also went down earlier today. Karen at strawweight. Karen of Team Pravajra defeated, what is this girl's name? Shintani. My apologies. What is her name? Kotomi Shintani. Karen defeated her in like a minute and 24 seconds. Opened up the elbows. Opened up a huge cut on Shintani. Referee stopped it. Just absolutely blasted her. So Karen moves to 4-0 as a professional. She's only, I think, 17, 18 years old herself. She's showing a lot of promise. I said she just turned 18 last month. So very young fighter, showing a lot of promise at strawweight. And, you know, not a whole lot of strawweights in Japan. So if she stays this way, she keeps winning. She's definitely a title contender there over in Pancrase. And then her teammate also fought. Nori, unfortunately, dropped a decision to Takeo Hashi. Takeo Hashi defeated Nori to claim the interim flyweight queen of Pancrase championship. And that's a long way of saying strawweight champion. But from what I heard, Nori did really good in the first round, and then Hashi just really took over in the second 2 with her groundwork. So Nori just coming up short there. And then finally, in a mixed rules bout at Heat 49, Rin Nakai was back. So this was ruled an exhibition bout. 1 round of kickboxing and 2 of MMA. From what I understand, the first round of kickboxing was kind of even between Rin Nakai on the right-hand side there and Maria Suzuki And then Nakai obviously ruled the MMA rounds. So I don't know if she finished her or not, but it was ruled as an exhibition. So it was like ruled a draw, basically. What weight was it? This is at 59 kilograms. So 2.2 by 59. 129.8 pounds. So basically like a catch weight was this one. But Rin Nakai is back, at least for now. And I know there are a lot of fans out there that were waiting for her return and waiting to, see results from her. Oh, what the heck? Why didn't the poster come up? Anyway, so that's it for the weekend recap. So we're going to move into the Invicta 3 let me see, preview, recap. Oh, I see what happened. Invicta 3 retro fight companion. Yeah, no, BJ says no, Nakai always looked like a flyweight. So after she got cut from the UFC, she moved down to flyweight and started competing there. It's just she's always been like, how do you say it? She's always been real wishy-washy and weird about fights. Her husband/coach is real weird. So the big thing is, like, people would sign her to fight. It's just that she doesn't want to. And then after a while, it gets to the point where the promotions are like, you're not worth the headache. So, all right. So let's get into Invicta FC3. So you got to open up UFC Fight Pass. Go to Invicta FC3. And there are, like I said earlier, there are 14 bouts on this card. And it was huge. And yeah, BJ, you got to start watching some of these outside promotions. They're fun. That's why I like to cover them so much. If I didn't cover them so much, I would dedicate more time to like the UFC fights and that. But I just like covering what's going on so much outside. But yeah. So Invicta FC3, like I said earlier, so many good fighters on this card. We saw a debut of a future UFC fighter. A lot of these fighters made it to the UFC eventually, but at least one of them made their pro debut on this card, Tisha Torres. We saw the first ever Invicta FC champion crowned, the winner of Jessica Penney versus Naho Sugiyama for the atomweight title. And this card was just stacked all around. I mean, let me pull the fight card back up here real quick. So 14 bouts. You went from featherweight, strawweight, bantamweight, atomweight, strawweight, featherweight, atomweight, bantamweight, flyweight, bantamweight to atomweight. So this covered every weight class basically at the time, which was rare from any event. So let's get into it. So we're going to go ahead and start the stream here. If you don't have it yet, go ahead. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to get Fight Pass opened. As soon as you get it open and get to the event, you go to the Fight Library, and then you go down to Invicta FC, and then you got to go all the way down to the bottom to the first 3 events. Click on Invicta FC3, Penny versus Sugiyama. So I'll give you a minute to get that ready. I'm going to play around here with these banners. Yeah. Get that little banner going. All right, so if you're ready, I'm going to go ahead and click play here. Of course, we got opening up with some new metal, which sounds terrible. So the event, they are at the Memorial Hall in Kansas City, Kansas. I went there the last time I went to an Invicta event. So Mauro Ranallo calling the fights. Mauro had his head shaved at this point. Of course, now he has that midlife crisis haircut. I don't know what's going on with him now, but calling the event with Julie Kedzie. Julie was around from the beginning with Invicta. King Mo, Muhammad Lawal also there, going to be calling the fights. Getting a drink ready. Hey, BJ, if you're still there and you want to come on, I can shoot you a link. So we got them talking. They're talking. So they're talking the main event. Jessica Penny versus Naho Sugiyama for the Invicta Atomweight title. Oh, they're showing the replays of her Penny's fight with what's her face? One of the bloodiest fights ever up to that point. So Penny talking. You know, Sugiyama, she was basically unknown in the U.S. at the time, but she was undefeated at, I think, 8-0. And she was undefeated at 8-0. Penny came in at 9-1. And Sugiyama, she was the Jules champion at the time. So she was the atomweight champion of the women's MMA promotion in Japan. Now, Jules ended up being bought out by Deep and got rebranded as Deep Jules. But Sugiyama was the champion when it was still Jules. Oh, man, this is a throwback here. Shayna Basler in the co-main event. She's going to be taking on Sarah DeLalio. And Basler was a pioneer in the U.S. And I think she fought in Japan too. You know, she got a lot of crap at the end of her career because she was just, you know, she just fell apart, and, you know, she hooked up with Ronda Rousey and dealt with a lot of flack from being associated with her as her career just burned out. But, you know, Basler does not get credit enough as a pioneer of the women's divisions in the U.S. I mean, she made her debut back in October 2003. I mean, that was the year I graduated high school. And there she was turning pro as an MMA fighter and fought every year pretty much all through 9. She took a year off in 2011, but came back and fought all the way through 2017. She fought her final fight over in Deep Jules, losing to King Reina. But Basler, she was a pioneer. Now we got Caitlin Young. Going to take on Leslie Smith. And this is a rematch. They're saying it's a rematch from Invicta 1. Caitlin Young, 3. They went to a split draw at Invicta FC 1. Okay, so they're skipping ahead on some fights here. Looks like we got Julia Budd versus Danielle West first. Looks like Topology has the fight order wrong here. Either that or this is only the main... this is only the main card. All right, so we're skipping to the main card. So this won't be as long of a night as I thought it would be. So first up, we got at featherweight, Julia Budd taking on Danielle West at featherweight. Budd coming in at 3-2. West coming in at 4-3-1. West was already 35 at the time of this fight, taking on the 29-year-old Budd. Budd slightly taller at 5'8", 172 centimeters to 5'7", 170 centimeters for West. Budd has reached 69-inch, 175 centimeters. So my apologies. I did not know this was only the main card. I thought this was the entire event. Because we're missing out on some good fights on the undercard here. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, we missed out on some good bouts here too. I didn't know this was only the main card, so my apologies. All right, so West immediately coming forward, getting the clinch, but Budd trying to create some room and separate. Gets double underhooks. Gets to the more dominant position on the outside. West now on the outside. Couple knees in. But Budd looking for the underhooks. Budd has the underhooks. Now muscles her way back to on the outside of the clinch. West jumping guard here. Or tried to, didn't keep it. Exchanging knees along the fence here. About a minute into the fight, first round. So Budd on the outside. West trying to go for a hip toss. Getting denied by Budd. Nice knee there by Budd to the head. So now West back on the outside. The Honey Badger. Some nice knees landing there for West as they're jostling along the cage. Budd really pushing that the head of West down. And Budd gets a trip. Now on top of Danielle West. Looking, she's moving him out. Julia Budd now has full mount. Gets separation. She's going to sit up. And she starts pounding. She's throwing the hands. Budd landed some elbows now. So West escapes, does well, but now we got knee on belly for Budd. And she still landed some ground and pound. And that is it. Referee saw enough. That is it for Julia Budd. Getting the win via TKO in the first round. Looks like 232. Danielle West bleeding from a cut above her eye. So we're showing a replay. But doing good there on the mount. This was Julia Budd when she was actually an aggressive fighter and trying to finish. Definitely takes you back. Man, they're playing condom style. They're playing condom style over the speakers. So first round finish there for Julia Budd. Like I said, 2 minutes, 32 seconds. Very nice win there for Julia Budd. So right, so that's it for the first fight on this main card. Still disappointed. Like I thought this would be the entire event. Because we missed some good fights. We missed Tisha Torres' debut. We missed Carla Esparza versus Lynn Alvarez. Carla Esparza got a finish in that one. We missed Calderwood versus Ashley Cummins. A Jessamine Duke fight. This one. All right. All right. So coming up next is going to be Michelle Waterson versus Lacey Shuckman. But before that, I have to top off my herbal tea. Otherwise, I'm going to be coughing nonstop. So I'm going to go boil some water for my tea real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back just in time for the tail of the tape. Waterson coming in at 26. Shuckman coming in 24. 5'3" to 5'2". Waterson a little, well, about the same level of experience. Waterson 9-3. Shuckman coming in at 7-5. This was the Invicta debut of Michelle Waterson at the time. She later went on to become the Invicta Atomweight champion. Lacey Shuckman, obviously a fan of pink. Pink outfit, pink hair, some pink flowers on her tattoos. Oh, this tee is weak. This is Waterson when she was still pretty skinny before she got thick. Before Waterson put all that junk in her trunk. Oh, this is Kim, what's her face? I don't even know if she referees anymore. All right, getting started. Ooh, nice low kick there from Waterson. Shuckman wearing some like capri style leggings. Kicks and some punches moving forward there for Shuckman. Oh, Waterson rocks her. Drops her with a punch, with a counter punch. Shuckman going for the takedown. Gets it up against the cage now. Waterson turned Shuckman into a panic wrestler there. Waterson trying to look for the guillotine. Shuckman moving to a half guard. Oh, she gets mount. Mount there for Shuckman, but Waterson rolls over, gives up her back. Just over a minute into the first round, Michelle Waterson has given up her back to Shuckman. Shuckman looking for the choke. So if you hear that annoying, grating voice shouting hammer fist, that's Shuckman's husband / coach. He has one of the most annoying voices you'll ever hear in a corner. Oh, it looks like she has the choke in. Shuckman with the rear naked choke. Waterson getting her base up. Shuckman gives up the choke. Waterson bases up. All fours. Flattens out a little bit. Going to her side. She's going to look to sweep here, I think. Might be trying to sneak out the back. Hard to tell what she's doing. But, so Waterson gets back to half guard now. So Shuckman still in the half guard of Michelle Waterson, going for a key lock here, aka the Americana. Damn, I can smell it. But Shuckman's still trying to go for that Americana, but gives it up, and Waterson rolls in, still in the half guard, but looking for some advice here because she's right now Waterson is losing this first round. Oh, Waterson throwing up the arm bar. Waterson throwing up the arm bar. Got a minute 20 left. So she lost the arm, but is somewhat out of trouble here. Shuckman has a leg scissors lock on her body, but nope, it's Waterson on top now. She stands up. Looks like she's gonna throws a kick to the leg. She allows Shuckman up. We're going to the cage now. Got Shuckman on the outside up against the cage here. So Shuckman still forced Waterson up against the cage. Last few seconds here. Waterson, oh, nice knee there for Waterson from the inside. And there goes the end of the first round. All right, so showing the replays from between the rounds. There goes that armbar attempt by Waterson. Very slick there from her. All right, start of the second round. Shuckman throws a low kick. Waterson throws a punch. Knee there by Waterson. Knee the thigh. Ooh, knee the belly by Shuckman. Shuckman goes high with a kick, just a little short. Not a whole lot of action so far in the first minute of the second round. Ooh, low kick there lands for Waterson. Shuckman faking some kicks. Oblique kick there for Waterson. Ooh, axe kick there for Waterson, but caught by Shuckman. Shuckman has a firm hold on Waterson's leg. Sucks it into her. She's going to try to convert it into a takedown against the cage, but she gets the clinch. So Shuckman gets the clinch. Going for a high crotch takedown here. Gets a single leg. All right, so Shuckman gives up on that takedown. Oops, drops down for another one. Same leg, just from a different angle. Gets it, but Waterson able to jump on the back of Shuckman. Waterson doesn't have the hooks in. Up. She got one hook in now. She's working on a rear naked choke, but it looks very weak. So Waterson, Shuckman able to get back to half guard. Pulling into it. Waterson just didn't have, the proper positioning on the back of Shuckman. So Waterson on top in half guard. Landed some short punches to the head of Shuckman. Waterson moving Shuckman away from the cage there. Waterson still in the half guard of Shuckman. Throwing some short punches there. Shuckman has her arm around Waterson's head, keeping her from getting some space to really land harder. Minute and a half left in the second round with Waterson on top. Lands some punches to the body and the head of Shuckman. Waterson really needs to break that grip of Shuckman. Get her head up. See, this is when Waterson needs to sit up a little bit because Shuckman let her head go. Nice shoulder strike there by Waterson. So now Waterson needs to try sitting up a little bit. Or posturing up, I should say. Some more shoulder strikes there by Waterson. Waterson trying to get through, but can't get through the guard, and now in the full guard, the closed guard of Lacey Shuckman. Shuckman has her head turned. She's trying to listen to her corner. Land some kicks to the kidney. Waterson really trying to just break Shuckman down. Now she's postured up. I think, there we go. There's some punches from the up top by Waterson. Lets her go. Shuckman kicks her off. And there goes the end of the round. So to me, I have it 1 round apiece. That was all Waterson in that round. I want to see how much. So Shuckman did keep fighting for a little while, a few years after this. She after this fight, Shuckman didn't come back to Invicta until Invicta 12 in 2015. So 3 years later, picked up a win, then lost to Mizuki, lost to Molly McCann in England, and then picked up a win in 2017. So she retired in October of 2017. She picked up a win of Rosa Azaveda, ended with a record of 12-10. So here's the start of the third and final round of this ladies' atomweight bout. So Shuckman comes forward, throws up a kick high, blocked by Waterson. Ooh, kick went high again for Shuckman. Commentary making fun of Lacey Shuckman's husband right now. Ooh, Waterson with a spinning back kick up high, misses. Throws a low kick that lands. Shuckman going forward with some punches, but Waterson, she's on her bicycle in this round. Shuckman's husband is so annoying. You can hear him. He's shouting, now, what's up, the brother, man? In the chat. Got some more people joining as we go on. Thank you to everyone who has joined tonight. Shuckman coming forward, some punches, backing Waterson up to the cage. Getting her up against the fence. Everyone tuning in, don't forget to hit that like button, please. Waterson gets out, circles away, gets back to the center. Low kick, inside low kick lands for Waterson. Couple, two-piece for Waterson. She circles out. A lot of fakes from both fighters. And some strikes from outside the distance, which those of us that follow Waterson in the UFC are used to seeing. Shuckman coming forward, some kicks and punches. Going for a takedown, but Waterson able to defend it. Waterson gets her against the fence. But now Shuckman reverses, and she's on the outside against the fence with 2 minutes left in the third and final round of this strawweight bout. So Shuckman around the back of Waterson. Waterson lands some nice elbows. Shuckman trying to get Waterson and drags her to the ground. Nice body drag takedown by Lacey Shuckman there. Waterson going high with the guard. Goes back down, closes it up. Shuckman's husband telling her to stand up. Get out of there. Oh, nice sweep there by Waterson. Nice sweep there by Waterson, who moves to mount. Very nice sweep there. Waterson gets the body triangle in, it looks like, possibly. Now she's going for a triangle. She slid around, got back down to the bottom. Kind of squandered that sweep she had earlier. So Shuckman finally stands up. Lets Waterson up. 35 seconds left in the third round. This is going to be a close round. Shuckman come forward with a punch. Waterson throws a kick. But Waterson walking forward. Whoa, Waterson up high with a kick that lands. Low kick by Waterson. Then she goes up high. Another high kick lands for Waterson. But Shuckman driving her to the cage here. And they're going to end this fight up against the fence there. So it goes to the judges after 3 rounds. Some respect shown between the two fighters. Waterson shaking off some of that tension. My tea's getting cold already. That sucks. So we're waiting on the judge's decision of this bout. Michelle Waterson versus Lacey Shuckman. So they're trying to decide, commentators deciding, you know, who won. Hard to say. I mean, we know the results already because the fight was a while, like, 9 years ago. All right, going to the scorecards. So 29-28 for Shuckman, one judge. Second judge, 29-28 Waterson. Kevin Champion, 29-28. Winner by split decision. The karate hottie, Michelle Waterson. Victorious in her Invicta FC debut. So not a bad fight. Not a bad fight in the atomweight division. Not the best atomweight fight, but not bad either. Shuckman's husband's a weird looking dude. So there we go. Michelle Waterson defeating Lacey Shuckman in her Invicta FC debut in the atomweight division. Waterson fought all of her Invicta fights at atomweight before moving to the UFC to compete at strawweight. Or she's still, Waterson is still in the UFC, still competing at strawweight, whereas Shuckman has not fought since 2017. Retired on a win. She ended up having a record of 12-10. Waterson's currently ranked in the top 10 at strawweight in the UFC. She has a record of 18-9. Still competing, but she hasn't fought since, well, she last competed in May of this year, losing to Urina Horaguchi via decision. Before that, she picked up a split decision win over Angela Hill, September of last year. So whoever JV is, you need to connect at least a microphone. It says you don't have any, whoever JV is, I'm guessing the brother man. It says you don't have any devices connected, so you don't have a microphone or camera connected. You don't need a camera, just a mic if you want, but I can't add you until you yeah, it says I can't add you until you connect a mic or cam. So next up, we're moving to bantamweight. Kadzangano taking on Raquel Pennington. Rocky Pennington making her way to the cage. Comes into this fight with a record of 3-1. 24 years old at the time. Stands 5 feet 7 inches, 170 centimeters, with a reach of 67.5 inch, 171 centimeters. What's up, the brother, man?
What's up? How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good, man. Welcome to the stream.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too, man.
What's up, the brother, man?
You gotta turn off.
All good. All good.
Yeah, you gotta close the window.
Nice to meet you.
On YouTube.
What's up, the brother, man?
Because you're getting the echo.
All good. How do I turn off the mic?
Close the window.
No, you don't gotta turn off your mic. You gotta close the YouTube window that you're watching the stream on. You gotta close
Can you hear me
that.
now?
I can hear you.
No, you don't gotta turn off.
You just have the stream in the background. So you gotta close the YouTube window that the stream is playing on.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you're good.
Yes, I'm good. Sorry about that.
Okay. No problem. All right, so we got Alva Kadzangano making her way. She's 6-0, 30 years old at the time, 5'6", 70 inches.
Excuse me. Can I even watch the stream, or do I need to watch it on Fight Pass or something?
To watch the Invicta stream, you have to be on Fight Pass.
I thought you were going to stream it or something.
No, I can't. Unfortunately, you know what? I got an idea. No, I can't do that.
I mean, I'll pay you some money or anything. So.
Oh no, it's not that. It's I can't show it because I'd get in trouble because it's copyrighted. So.
I mean, does StreamYard allow that, or do they still get like?
No, because of YouTube and copyright laws, I'd get. Veto.
Okay.
They'd slam me.
I see.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's one of those things. It's like you got to have the service yourself, or because I can't show it on the screen or anything. So.
I got you. I'm just eating something right now, so I just wanted to see just want to say hey and stuff. But I have a few questions, by the way. Have you seen what do you think about the fight between Dumont and Ladd? I heard everyone is shitting on it very hard.
I don't think it was a bad fight. It's just Ladd had like nothing for Dumont in the first 3 rounds, and just she I don't know. I don't think she was in the right headspace last night.
Right.
And no matter what her coach tried, he couldn't get her out of it. It's just she couldn't get going. I think the big problem was, I mentioned this earlier, that Ladd is a very physical fighter, and when she can't impose her physicality on people, she just doesn't know what to do. And she was lost because every time she tried coming forward, Dumont would just jab her straight to the face, and Ladd couldn't get inside and couldn't impose her physicality. So Ladd just didn't know what to do. Her coach, for all the negative energy pep talk in between the rounds, he was giving her sound advice during the fight. It's just she was just shut down mentally, it seemed like.
Oh shit. Again, I'm sorry I'm eating right now, but I hear people were really shitting on Ladd, and I guess the feedback, how horrible female main events are, especially in UFC. They were really. I mean, the casual fans are just we're just crapping on it very hard about the fight. So
yeah. Well, you got the segment of MMA fans that are just going to crap on female fights no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I just usually drown them out or just ignore them.
Right.
But, it wasn't a terrible fight, but it wasn't great.
You can't ignoring them. I mean, they're giving us the money. They're giving the money and the success for how women's MMA is being popular. So
yeah.
You can't drown them out, but it's just like you said. I mean, the fans want to see violence. They do not want to see pity patter fights.
Right. No, definitely. You can't. I'm not saying you got to ignore the casuals completely, but the segment that just will crap all over every female fighter, they're just really loud. And obviously, they're in the minority because if the UFC thought that those were the majority of fans, then they would just ignore them. Or I mean, no, they would take their advice and they dump the females because the UFC is going to do what makes them the most money. Image be damned, they're going to do what makes them the most money.
Right. But do you think WMMA is making a lot of money? Because it just seems like, you know, I mean, the richest, one of the richest WMMA fighters that is selling the most money is mostly Nunes. But, you know, for other women, it just seems like they're getting rest of the peanuts because they're not performing well, or they're just trying to they're not motivating themselves or something.
Well,
so,
with the UFC, you make what you make mostly is based on how many fights you've had,
right?
Your current contract, what your record is. I mean, there's ladies making good money for their fights. It's just a lot of them complain because, I'll be honest, I mean, I think the UFC could definitely afford to pay fighters more. I think they're definitely underpaying all their fighters. It's just that a lot of fighters have really bad spending habits and they don't want to admit it. I mean, they get a good paycheck from a fight, and the next thing you know, they're out there cruising around in a new car. It's like, what's wrong with the car that you had?
I mean, fighters. It's explanatory that fighters don't like fighters. In sports, like sports athletes, don't have a not sense of money. I can understand that. So,
yeah.
I mean, it just people have it just seems like fighters are not smart doing it, and I'm not smart not paying, not saving their money, and not trying to get better on trying to build the future of, you know, when they're retired. They think about having children, think about having a family or building a family to where it is right now. So,
right.
Like I said, people were. I was kind of worried that they were not. I'm kind of worried that they're worried that Dumont versus Ladd fight, especially for Dumont, who won that fight, probably got a pay cut on that fight because she didn't perform well. So,
I mean, here's the thing: they're contracted to make a certain amount of money,
right?
So they're going to make that money no matter what. And as long as they show up, they're going to get their show money. If they're contracted to get a show and win, and they win, they're going to get that win money. I mean, like, they're not just going to cut a fighter's pay based on one bad performance. Now, if you've performed badly your last two fights and you come up on a new contract, they might, try to offer you a lower amount on the next contract. But that's just simple, they do that with every fighter. Say, well, you're not performing so good, so you got to take a pay cut, or else there's no point in keeping you.
I understand. So, right now, Cage Warriors is on right now. So, I just wanted to check and see how it's going in chat. And another question, by the way. I feel I may have answered this question many times, but I can go ahead and shoot it. What do you think about if Dumont becomes the face of the bantamweight of the featherweight division, since they don't have no stars there, or no female fighters who could probably dominate in that division? Who do you think? Do you think she will represent that division very well? Who's gonna be that face when she's possible to take on Nunes if she does pretty well on that division?
That's a good question. I think with the ladies featherweight, they're waiting to see probably for the end of this year, because I know Kayla Harrison, her PFL contract is up.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might try to get Kayla Harrison and sign her to fight at featherweight.
Right. And
if they can get her, then they'll prepare her to be the next face after Nunes retires.
Well, is Nunes planning to retire in next year? Because I've heard that she's going to fight next 2-3 years.
I think it just depends. I mean, I think she wants to try to get as much money as she can right now with the kid and everything.
Right.
I mean, her and Nina having that kid. And, I mean, Nina just lost her last fight, and she's got a tough fight coming up.
Right.
So I
Well,
think
I don't
Nunes
think
will
it's
fight
not
for a
going to
few
be a
more
tough
years.
fight because I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I
Yeah,
don't,
go ahead.
I don't think it will be a tough fight for Nunes against Pena. But I do speculate that Pena is really good at being a wrestler. So she could probably do something about it. But I think Nunes has gotten better on her wrestling, on her takedown defense and stuff. So even I think Megan Anderson was going to try to do that, but I guess she failed well to try to do those takedown attempts, and Nunes caught wind of it. So, but I'm just looking to see how the future of women's MMA is going to be. So, I've been a huge fan for it for at least since the Strike Force era, and even possibly the Bulldog Sherdog era, because I used to record a lot record both of those shows every Saturday and stuff, and just watch them and just give tapes and stuff to see how the female fights will do. So, especially
Those were the good old days.
Cyborg and Carano.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has a long stance, and I kind of I kind of felt like WMA. I mean, when Dana decided with decided to go to allow women to fight in the UFC, it definitely changed everything. And it definitely boosted their popularity really, 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 really,
Oh, for sure.
with Ronda Rousey. I think it declined really hard when Rousey lost. So, well, let's just say it's a blessing that Rousey lost. So, and without her, if she didn't lose, then it would have gone much stronger, and people would have got tired of her. Would have gotten tired of Ronda. So, I'm thankful that she's nothing but a flash in the pan. But I'm sorry, but I think Nunes and Holmes should be credited for the success to where women's MMA more than what Rousey has done. So that's my opinion about it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It's popular to hate on Rousey after the fact, but she was the one that brought the ladies to the dance, to the show.
Right.
And without her, it would not have happened. And it's a shame that she went out the way that she did, because it really just tarnished her reputation. But to the point where now it's like people don't want to give her credit. But yeah, I mean, as far as the bantamweights and the featherweights go, yeah, it was up to Holm, Tate, and Nunes to carry on afterwards. And I wish Miesha Tate wouldn't have retired when she did, because she was like the next biggest star after that. And once she retired, it's like the fans in general, they just don't gravitate to Nunes for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just because she's not feminine enough. I don't know if for whatever reason, MMA fans are fickle. They like who they like. They don't like who they don't like. And it just seems like no matter what you do, I mean, Nunes knocked out Cyborg. That should have been peak popularity for her. I mean, she should be the most popular fighter around,
right.
And she's just not for whatever reason.
Of course, I agree to that, but I think her best popularity was facing Nunes facing Cyborg, and I think it shot her popularity straight up to the moon, and I think it declined really well because the lack of good fighters, and I think, and like I said, I don't think Nunes is to blame for the failures of that. I think it's mostly blamed because of the match, because of the talent, and none of these females don't understand that they're not going to get, they're not in another next level with Nunes, and Nunes is just another.
Hold on a second. So Raquel Pennington just tapped out to a rear naked choke against Kadzangano in the second round.
Zagano is good.
Yeah. He was real good back then. 3:32 of the second round. So
nice.
Your winner, Kadzangano.
Nice. Nice. But by the way, um, it's um, it's interesting. It's interesting to see how the future will hold on for the bantamweight division and see how Nunes will react to it to both titles. I think she's the only double champ right now, and and like I said, none of the other girls do not have the next level power of what Nunes have. And
No.
I think that's going to be a challenge for Pena when
Yeah.
she goes in December. Who has I think she will have I think Nunes will have trouble on her fights, but I think Pena will probably focus on her wrestling and just try to focus on one thing that Nunes is weakness for is ground and pound. And people have been telling, hmm? And
Right.
people have, I thought you said something. Oh, never mind. But I think that her ground
No,
and
go
pound
ahead.
will be a huge difference. What the same playbook that Misha Tate and Durandamine should have Durandamine should have did, but for Durandamine she should have done that in the first couple of rounds of the sequel. So I'm willing to see how this will go because it's all on dependence for Pena to try to save some leverage so she can be that champion that she truly is. And you know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for Nunes, she is just amazing, and I still respect her.
Oh
I
yeah.
think like you said, people are fickle, and fans want to see the goodness of the fights. And another thing, by the way, I do believe one day, and I think I may be crazy or insane, but I will say this. But I do think one day that WMMA will be popular than being than than being an actress or being a model or being a model. I think they can. I think one day WMMA could be more popular. I mean, it was that close when Rousey was champion. I think it really shook Hollywood really that badly when more and more females try to get into sports. So
Yeah.
I think I think there's a shot. I think there's a shot that WMMA will be. I think it's more and more popular with against WNBA and others, and no one watches that show anyway. No one watches that product because there's nothing good out of it eventually. But WMMA is just has that popular attraction to bring tons of millions of people out, tons of millions of people out there, especially the normies, especially the Cassies, especially to everyone. So I'm willing to see how that will turn out in the next couple of years and see how good it will be. So that's my take on this.
Yeah. I think the big thing, the next thing, the way we have next week is the flyweight bout between Vanessa Porto and what's her name? Tara Larosa. So Vanessa Porto making her way to the cage now.
Right.
I think the big thing is like right now, bantamweight, your champ is so dominant, but she doesn't have like the charisma that some of the other champions do,
Right.
and that's holding like the division back. Whereas I think like if you got someone like, I know a lot of people don't like her, but people will talk about her, Pena, and she has the look and everything, or like someone like say Irene Aldana. Like if either of those two were champ, I think the division would be a lot more popular because unfortunately you have the dominant champ who just doesn't have the draw power.
Hmm.
Whereas compared to like say, well, Valentina hasn't really been proving herself as a draw, but she is popular enough and she's dominant as well. Then you got
Right.
strawweight. Strawweight's just an absolute shark tank. That belt's going to keep changing hands, and that's what
Right.
makes it interesting.
Well, especially the strawberry division, it is probably like the best division out there.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, really, really bar none. So I think this upcoming fight between Nunes, not Nunes, but um,
Rose
for
and Whaley.
Rose and Rayleigh, I think it's going to be a close fight. I do think Rose will probably knock her out again. It's going to depend. depend how big it will be. So I think Whaley is probably going to be training a lot harder for this fight. I think Rose is probably going to just try to do everything he can to just keep that playbook, keep the same playbook, and just try to variate the way, and just try to find that way to try to use that head kick again on Whaley, because Whaley, here's the thing, Whaley, I think most psychological wise, I think Whaley didn't see that coming, because I think Pat Barry said something mentioned that Whaley lacks in kickboxing or something. Does Whaley have a history in kickboxing, or does she have like her own style or something?
I'm not sure, but I mean, I know they mentioned they watched tape of her, and that's something that Pat and what's his name, Trevor Whitman, they watch a lot of tape on opponents, and they look for very specific weaknesses that they can exploit. And what they watched, I think they definitely watched the fight between Whaley and Luanna, and they saw her, they saw that defense, that when she guards that low kick, she does that hip sway thing,
right?
She leaves her hands wide and down, and it left her chin open.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yes, she learned it from one of the best Muay Thai, one of the best Muay Thai fighters of all time.
Saenchai.
Right. Saenchai, yes.
So they watched her do that a lot in the Joanna fight, and they knew that early in the fight she was not going to be looking for a high kick to be coming. Like, they just expected it to be like a feeling out, going for the low kicks, and then boom, Rose went immediately for that high kick and got her.
Right.
And a lot of people are saying, well, she's not going to be able to get that twice. My thing is, that's not the only thing they would have prepped for. So they're not going to try it twice, probably.
Right.
But that camp of Rose, they're going to have her ready with a new plan A plan B, a plan C, a plan D. I mean, that is like, Trevor Whitman is one of the best coaches for coming up with game plans.
Hands down, no. Hands down.
For finding weaknesses to exploit in opponents for his fighters.
Okay. I mean, that's something. I think Trevor Whitman is definitely the best coach out there. I mean, Team Elevation, like down in California, is probably like the best that's out there, beating American Top Team. I know for a fact that Elevation team might be going after the bantamweight title. Like, do they have any female bantamweight or featherweight fighters in Elevation?
I'm not sure.
I think that probably Whitman's goal to probably dominate and probably try to take down Amanda Nunes. So, but also, did you watch the Bellator fights between Benson Henderson's wife? She was really good.
Yeah, I like somewhat paid attention to it.
Yeah,
but I didn't watch too much of it.
Right, because she went to a rear naked choke. She won. She did it in the first round. I believe, I think she's in flyweight or bantamweight or something, but she's legit. So I think she had one amateur fight and one in the decision. But I guess they're propping her up to be in the pro circuit. So I think she'll probably be a big name in Bellator soon. So I think they like that, the husband and wife fighting together, just like the Bice family and stuff too.
Yeah.
So Bice and JP Bice.
Let me see. So that fight was at flyweight. So
yeah.
And Maria Henderson is now 2-0 as an amateur.
No, she started in a pro. She started
that was an amateur fight.
Huh?
That was an amateur fight.
Amateur fight?
Yeah.
I thought it was a pro fight.
No, it was a surprising amateur fight in Bellator, which they never do, but they did for her.
That's nice. That's nice. But also, I'm thankful I can be able to hear my voice and stuff. So I'm about to head out, so I would like to talk to you more in the near future.
Oh yeah, sure. I can invite you back on anytime.
Not a problem. I guess probably when your next WMA scene out event, I could probably chat and discuss a lot of things about about the future and stuff because I may be thinking about one day owning a fight own my MMA organization or something in the near future. So
Oh, that'd be cool. Start your own promotion.
yeah, I rather do it in Florida than rather do it up north because Florida is just like you can do it. You can start up in your backyard and stuff, and you can be more popular out there. So just like how Street Beefs and others does, like other
Yeah.
promotions. So they started from gym actually. You know. But anyway, it's good to hear you. So we'll talk later, all right? Thank you,
All
Chuck.
right, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Okay, so back into the fights. We're in round number 2, or I'm sorry, we're in the first round still of Vanessa Porto versus Tara Larosa. Porto had Larosa dropped earlier. Ooh, Porto drops her again with a big hard right. Larosa on her back now in the shrimp position. Porto landed some heavy kicks to her legs. It's a nice conversation I had with the brother man, so we'll have to welcome him back again. So Porto standing over Larosa right now. Winslow going to let Larosa stand back up. Ooh, that low kick hurt Larosa there by Porto. She did not like that one. Another hard low kick by Porto. Larosa is not liking them. So Porto still coming forward on Larosa. Larosa trying to keep her at bay with punches. Porto fires another low kick and Larosa checks it. Overhand right lands for Porto. Another overhand right lands for Porto. Not the most exciting fight going on right now. Well, that's not good. All right, so I just got a message. I got to go pick up my cousin from somewhere in a little bit. So I'm telling you what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead to the main event. I apologize for this. Did not plan on it. So if you want to go to, let me find the proper time mark. All right. Go to 2:28-minute mark. 2 hours, 28 minutes exactly. And we will skip to the main event here. Atomweight Championship, Jessica Penny versus Naho Sugiyama. Because I know this fight doesn't go the distance. Fortunately, you got family. You got to do family things. And that's what's going to have to happen tonight here. So Naho Sugiyama making our way to the cage. That's her manager there behind her, Shu Hirata. I just watched a podcast with him earlier. So Sugiyama coming into this fight with a perfect record of 8-0. She is at the time, the current Jules champion in Japan. And making her way to the cage next is going to be Jessica Penny. If you're in for some nostalgia, this is a good fight for it. Because this was peak Jessica Penny at the time. When she was fighting in at atomweight. She was doing really well. She was just coming off a win over, at the time, I believe it was at Invicta 1. Coming off a win over Invicta, Lisa Ellis at Invicta 1 via TKO. One of the bloodiest women's fights up to that point. So Jessica Penny stepping into the cage here. We're going to go to the tail of the tape now. Sugiyama 34, Penny the younger fighter at 29. Penny taller, 5'5" to 5'3". Penny has 2 more fights than Sugiyama. She was 9-1. However, Sugiyama was 8-0 undefeated, as I mentioned earlier, and also the Jules champion at the time. Joe Martinez handling the announcements. Joe Martinez still had hair at the time. Joe Martinez handling the announcing duties. Good comment. Sugiyama looking confident, calm, collected. So Penny. Jessica Penny's 5'5", but I'll tell you what, she looks really tall for 5'5". She's just long, like very long, long leg, long bodied. Kind of long-faced. Got. I think that's Rich Franklin's brother. No, that's not Rich Franklin's brother. I know Rich Franklin's brother, he does referee a lot in Missouri, but this is in Kansas. So Sugiyama coming forward on Penny. Sugiyama got a lot of tape on that left knee. Penny flicking a jab out there. Preventing Sugiyama from getting inside. Penny still flicking that jab out there. Oops, Sugiyama gets in for a 1-2. Penny gets her right back out. Right hand lands for Sugi. Jab too, but Penny's countering really well in this fight. Nice low kick there lands for Sugi. Another low kick lands for Sugi Rock, but Penny catches it and takes her to the ground. Penny moving straight to, well, she moved to side control, but Sugi Rock regains half guard. So Jessica Penny now in the half guard of Naho Sugi Rock Sugiyama. But Sugi getting back to full guard, going for the butterflies. She goes to the half guard now, might be looking to sweep from there. But Jessica Penny on top. Trying to bring Sugi closer to the cage, inch her closer to the cage. Some punches to the body by Penny. Penny's trying to move to the other side, but she's still got her legs still locked up. But I'll tell you what, Penny is so flexible that she can leave her one leg trapped in, roll over to other side, and still be able to muscle Penny Sugi around. So Penny really moving almost to side control now. Sugi trying to get up, but Penny brings her back, right back. She kind of did flatten her out there, but so Sugi Rock on her back now. Penny really tightening up with her arms, trying to break that, get her leg free is what Penny's trying to do right now. But landed some punches now to the face of Sugi Rock, trying to open up that guard. Man, Penny's flexibility is something to watch. Penny's still trying to get past the guard of Sugiyama, the half guard, get her right leg free. Coach telling her body, head. So that's exactly what Penny does. 2 to the body, 2 to the head. About to get that leg out. Penny able to get it, but Sugi gets to the butterfly trying to sweep. Sugi creates some distance, able to stand. Penny catches her with a knee on her way back up. Back to the feet for both fighters. Penny flicking that jab out there, keeping Sugi stuck on the outside. Oh, Sugi gets inside. Penny grabs a clinch and starts landing some knees. Ooh. In the clinch now. Penny trying to bring Sugi around, looking for a hip toss, but unable to get it. Penny's still in control, though. Ah. So Penny landing some knees from the clinch. So there goes the end of the first round there. My earpods keep screwing up. So that's pretty easy first round there for Jessica Penny. I mean, she had top control. She was landing ground and pound. She was getting most of the strikes done on the feet, really controlling the strike and just. I mean, Sugi, like Kim Mo said, Sugi was landing with the right hand, but that was about it. Sugiyama showing some slight swelling around her left eye, under her left eye, going in the second round here. All right. Start of the second round. Jessica Penny versus Sugirock Sugiyama for the Invicta FC inaugural Atomweight Championship. This is your retro fight companion with WMMA scene now. Low kick there lands for Sugirock. Penny still keeping her out at the edge of her jab, though. Nice job there by Penny with the jab. Sugi with a jab, but misses with the overhand right. Another low kick lands for Sugi, but Penny responds with a two-piece and a low kick. Another jab there for Penny. So Sugi's getting that low kick in. Penny's countering. Inside leg kick lands for Sugi. Penny gets the clinch. Lands a couple knees, another knee, a fourth. But Sugi doing good. She's got that guard up for the knees. She's blocking those knees. Throws her own in between. Penny just snapped her down. Nice job. Nice snap down there by Penny. But Sugi takes her down into the guard of Penny. Penny going for a triangle choke here. Penny throwing up at triangle. She doesn't have it closed up yet. Doesn't have it quite tight. But Sugiyama trying to stack Penny, but Penny using her entire body length to get it. Going for that triangle. She locks it up. It looks tight here. Penny has that triangle choke locked up. Penny squeezing that triangle on Sugirock. Sugi trying to and Sugi taps. That is it. Sugiyama taps out to triangle choke in the second round, making Jessica Penny your inaugural Invicta FC Atomweight champ. First ever champ for Invicta Fighting Championship. Jessica Penny very pleased with herself. All right, so they're going to do the belt ceremony and all that. So let me go ahead and close up here because unfortunately, I didn't plan on it. Family emergency came up. I got the message. So I got to go. So we're going to close this up here. So what happened to these two fighters afterwards? So Sugi Rock went back to Japan. Or no, she lost to Celine Haga at Jules' 23rd reign via unanimous decision. That was a surprising loss. And then that was a non-title bout as well. Then she lost her title in her next bout to Sahi Ham at Jules' 24th reign. Picked up a couple wins at Deep Jules once Jules was bought by Deep. Picked up 2 wins at Deep Jules 2 and Deep Jules 3. Dropped a bout to Ayaka Hamasaki at Deep Jules 5 via TKO in the first round. Picked up a win over Mina Kurobi and then Emi Tomomatsu in Deep Jules 10 and 12 respectively. And then finally lost her last bout at Deep Jules 15 to Mina Kurobi. Kurobi avenging that earlier loss. And then that was in February of 2017. And then Sugiyama retired after that. She retired with a record. She went from 8-0 to being 12-5. So she kind of fell off after that, after this loss to Jessica Penning. But not a bad career overall. They gave her a really nice retirement ceremony in Deep Jules. Jessica Penning, on the other hand, after this bout, she dropped the title in her first defense of it to Michelle Waterson at Invicta 5. Then she picked up a win over via rear naked choke over Nictali Rivera Kawana at Invicta 6. After that, got called to the Ultimate Fighter in the strawweight division. Tried out and made the show. Made it to the semifinals, dropping a decision to Carla Esparza. Beat Randa Marcos at the finale. Then she dropped 3 straight to Joanna Jędrzejczyk in a title shot, Jessica Andrade, and then Danielle Taylor. Then that was in 2017. Didn't come back till 2021 for some USADA issues, shall we say. Then most recently, she returned in April, picking up a split decision win over Lupita Godinez, and then most recently defeated Karolina Kowalkiewicz via armbar in the first round. So Jessica Penning, still an active fighter, still fighting in the UFC. All right, so that is it for the retro Invicta FC3 Fight Companion. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Don't forget to hit that like button, share it as well. Unfortunately, well, I thought we'd be watching the whole show, but it turns out that Fight Pass only had the main card, and then I got a message for a family emergency, so I had to cut short, skip the last 2 fights, and go straight to the main event. So my apologies for that one. Try to make it up to you at some point. We'll do another one, a full show. But thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. Like I said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you all for tuning in to WMMA Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time.